check, 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 check. What's a football player's favorite kind of tea? Penalty. Did she hear it? Hello everyone, welcome to the 2020 Boxelder Bug Days Queen Coronation. Thank you for coming and supporting all our candidates. I'm Abby Valamic, your MC for the afternoon, and I'm also the 2013-14 Boxelder Bug Day Queen. So I'll start off with the introduction of this year's royalty. So first, second princess, Rayanne Bruner, daughter of Rick and Michelle Bruner, and she's escorted by Dylan DeSmit, son of Jason and Michelle DeSmit, and her sponsor is Prairie Winds Wellness. I'll get out of your way. Next, we have First Princess Claire Banks, daughter of Steve and Trudy, And her escort is AJ Meary, son of Jason and Tina Meary, and her sponsor is Brad's Market. You guys can stand in front of your chairs. And last, our 2019 Boxelder Bug Day Queen, Jody Bicey, daughter of Eric and Jenny Bicey. She's escorted by Chase Differding, son of Jerry and Carol Differding, and her sponsor is B&B Electric. We would like to thank our 2019 royalty for representing Minnesota this past year, and we hope it was an experience that they'll never forget, even if it's not exactly what they were expecting. Let's give them a heartfelt round of applause for their service this year. And now we'll be asking them to make some room on the field as we let the new 2020 candidates come and introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ellen Maher, and I am the daughter of Casey and Jody Maher. My escort is Troy Van Coolen, who is the son of Bruce and Nancy Van Coolen. My sponsor is the Minnesota Manor Healthcare Center.
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan Worsel, and my parents are Jeff Worsel and Lori and Brent Bicey. I'm escorted by Christian Moon, whose parents are Matt and Stephanie Moon. My sponsor is B&B Electric.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brooke Morse. I am the daughter of Greg and Becky Morse. I would like to thank my escort, Jackson Esping. He is the son of Tony and Tammy Esping. I would also like to thank the Boxelder Bug Day Committee and also the other candidates for their support through this amazing process, as well as last year's royalty. I would also like to thank my sponsor, the Minnesota mascot. I am involved in FFA, 4-H, and theater. And thank you to everyone who came out this afternoon and is watching us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ava Larson, daughter of Kevin and Carrie Larson. My escort is Landon DeSmit, daughter of Richard and Jasmine DeSmit. I am sponsored by Prairie Winds Wellness, and I'd like to thank them for their support through this journey.
Thank you, ladies. Let's give a round of applause for all of our candidates. So one of the most important jobs we have this afternoon is the judging of these lovely ladies. And so I want to just take the opportunity to introduce them at this time. And so we have Peggy Anderson, Tammy Guza, and Christina Michelson. Yeah, give them a round of applause. It's not an easy job. Each year we select judges from surrounding communities to come help us with our queen selection. We appreciate the time and effort that they put forth, and we'd like to thank them for being here tonight. And so now these ladies over here, their job's not over yet. This morning they were given a final question that they'll all be answering, the same one, to help make the judges' jobs just a little bit easier. And this year's question is, during this time of pandemic, with people staying home more, businesses having new rules to follow, and school activities and community celebrations being postponed or canceled, if you are crowned Boxelder Bug Day Queen, how do you plan to promote the message of Boxelder Bug Days, make yourself visible in our community as well as others, while remaining safe? So first we have Ellen.
If I am crowned Boxelder Bug Days Queen, I will continue to promote the message of Boxelder Bug Days while staying safe at many outdoor and virtual activities. I believe COVID-19 has made us much more aware of sanitizing to protect everyone in our community. I will attend many smaller gatherings in the community while wearing my mask. Working at the manor has shown me how important each and every connection is with the elderly. I have established so many friendships and learned so much about Minneota while working at the manor. It is important to me to keep the residents and the people that I care about safe. You can count on me to lead by example during these COVID challenging times. I look forward to the opportunity to represent the Minneota community.
Thank you, Ellen. So in between each candidate, we'll give the judges just a little bit of time to take some notes and tally down some numbers. And so in this time, I'll share a little bit of a short story. So I had the opportunity to travel a little bit after college, and I went on a big national park trip. And one of the places I went, I was camping for a couple of weeks, and there was these bears just like right down from our tent. And my friend, we'd see them every single day, and sometimes these little bears would be like all happy, and sometimes they'd be like super grumpy, and you could just tell. And we finally found a local, and it's like, how come they're happy and then sad and then happy and then sad? And the local's like, well, didn't you know they're bipolar bears? Are you ready? Okay, next we have Morgan.
When I first read the question, if you are crowned Boxelder Bug Day Queen, how do you plan to promote the message of Boxelder Bug Days and make yourself visible in the community while remaining safe? I had no idea what to talk about. The more I thought, the better I understood the question and realized what I wanted to say. I believe the point of Boxelder Bug Days is to showcase the great aspects of this town, whether through the people, the businesses, or just the sense of belonging. I will promote this message by being true to myself and upholding the values of Minneota. I understand how important it is to set a good example for children who look up to us, and I plan to continue doing that. I believe the best part of this town is truly the community. The people in this town have shaped me into who I am today, and I would love to be more active in the community as Boxelder Bug Days royalty. One way I could do this is by bringing groceries or delivering meals to the elderly. Many are vulnerable during this time and very nervous and scared to go out in public places. I could help lower their chance of contracting the disease. During now, blood donations have been more scarce. Between me and the rest of the girls here, we could organize and participate in blood drives. The most important thing to remember during this strange time is to keep everyone safe. When going to these events, wearing a mask and social distancing when possible will keep the risk of contracting it down. I also think many people focus on the negative parts of their communities, which I think needs to change. One way that many people, especially younger ones, communicate and get their news is through social media. We can change the negative thinking and focus on the positives by starting a Minneota social media page. On that, we could talk about the positive stories that happened in the community, talk about local businesses, and inform people of events. While the newspaper talks about all these things, I believe a social media account would reach the younger generations more. As queen, it would be important to empathize and understand where everyone is in their lives and meet them there. I would be so grateful to be able to represent this great town of Minneota through being Bug Day's queen.
Great job, Morgan. So I think we already know that I'm not funny. So now I'll actually just share a tip for the future royalty. So you'll meet a lot of people this next year, and with that comes a lot of small talk. And in the Midwest, what better do we have to talk about than the weather? So when you talk to a different town's royalty and they ask you when your rain started, just keep in mind that they're probably not talking about water falling from the sky. They're talking about what time your reign started as royalty. Good. And it wasn't a joke. It's a real tip that happened to me. And up next we have Brooke.
If I were to be crowned Boxelder Bug Days Queen, I would help promote the message that even through unforeseen circumstances, I will carry on traditions through social distance and virtual communications. Throughout this year, we have had a lot of hurdles in our track, but through these events, we have been able to strengthen our bond as a community. Recently, Minneota has been negatively affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Until we are able to get back to our normal, I will document my time as the Boxelder Bug Day Queen by making a video every month to discuss current situations in our district. Through these videos, I can help bring the citizens of Minneota together while also staying safe. Myself and the other candidates are grateful we can continue this tradition. For a period of time, we weren't sure we would even have a coronation. Thank you to the Boxelder Bug Day Committee for allowing us to have this. There's limited opportunities for us to have in-person events, so we will likely have more virtual experiences rather than in person. We will hold virtual meetings to discuss what we believe we can do. Hopefully, we will have our parades, but if we are unable, we will have to find a substitute. I know that the four of us will find ways to use our talents to benefit the community. I know we will proudly represent Minneota to the best of our abilities. I hope to be your 2020 to 2021 Boxelder Bug Day Queen. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. So I have one last tip for our future royalty. As you've heard, a lot of them have mentioned how they would maybe go out into our community using social media. And so I remember when I was royalty, I had to track down a lot of formal dresses, which was really fun to get all dressed up. But I think one thing you should take into serious consideration is finding the comfiest pair of sweatpants that you can and really just investing in those. And last, we have Ava.
Boxelder Bug Days is a tradition that I've been going to my whole life. It's fun to be around the people from our town all weekend and see each other that have graduated and still come back and celebrate. As queen, I will continue to participate in the events and let younger kids know how great our town is. With my job as a CNA at the nursing home, I have been practicing safety during and before COVID. After I were crowned Boxelder Bug Days Queen, I would make myself visible in our community by setting up socially distanced outdoor activities with residents and other royalty members. I will be sure to wear a mask and the crown with pride each day that we participate. I know the residents will be smiling seeing all of us in our crowns. I would also set up a time with the Minneota Library to be able to read and do activities with the younger kids, while wearing masks and practicing social distancing. Finally, I want to thank the Boxelder Bug Days community and judges for finding a way for us to continue the Queen tradition while staying safe.
Thank you, Ava. You are our last candidate. Didn't everyone think they did a great job? Now we'll take a short break for the judges to tally their votes, and while they take the break, I'll have Scott Josephson come up, and he's going to share a little bit about the tradition of Boxelder Bug Days.
Thank you. And thank you all for coming. You guys are a privileged group this year for Boxelder Bug Days because this is the only official in-person activity or event for Boxelder Bug Days this year. So consider yourself privileged. And thank you, girls, both last year's royalty and the girls from this year for participating. It's been kind of a tough year for you guys, and the Boxelder Bug Days committee appreciates you. And since you weren't able to participate in parades this summer, we're going to make it possible for you to be part of parades next summer if you'd like to be. And I don't know if you've shared that with the girls, but these girls will be able to be representing Minneota next summer along with our new royalty. So that'll be a privilege you can all share. Thanks to the committee. Yeah, give them a hand. Give them a hand. And on behalf of the Boxelder Bug Days Committee, I'd like to thank the Queen Coronation Committee for their work getting us put together and having us in a safe setting so that everybody can be comfortable and actually enjoy the festivities. And thanks to Scott and Barb Knutson for arranging the parade that we'll have, as small as it will be, but it'll be important for these girls to be showing off through the town of Minneota here after the coronation is done. We are selling T-shirts, and there's some down at Brad's Market. And you can also go online and purchase them. We've got I don't know if anybody's, or if you've all seen the design, but part of the design is Bug Off COVID. That was our theme for this year's Boxelder Bug Days. So we thought that might be a good memory for everyone to have from 2020. So Boxelder Bug Days started long before these kids were born, and probably long before some of you were around Minneota. So I thought I'd take this time and share a little bit of the history of Boxelder Bug Days. Now, we've been celebrating in Minneota for more than 36 years, Boxelder Bug Days. It started as Town and Country Days for the first few years, and then the committee got together, and I remember that meeting, which tells you how long I've been around, but I remember that meeting, and we thought we needed to give this celebration a little bit more of an identity than Town and Country Days. And how many of you are familiar with Bill Holm? Know the name Bill Holm, or familiar with Bill? I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bill here as we go through this little discussion here, and you'll know him a little better, and you kids will appreciate him a little better once you hear the story about Boxelder Bug Days. Bill was an English professor and a poet and writer that is a native son of Minneota, and probably one of our most famous native sons that a lot of people that live in Minneota now probably don't even realize how significant Bill was to the literary world back in the late 1900s. Bill passed away 11 years ago at the age of 65, and he passed too soon as far as the community is concerned, because he was a great supporter of Minneota. He'd gone to China to teach as part of his work at Southwest State in Marshall, and he came back from China and wrote a book called Coming Home Crazy. And he wrote that book right after or during what was then the Tiananmen Massacre. How many remember the Tiananmen Massacre in Beijing? Bill knew many of those students that were involved in that, and there was an uprising of young people in China that were revolting against communism and the oppression of communism, and wanting to have a democratic society in China. And Bill knew many of those people, and his book, Coming Home Crazy, was a discussion of his experiences in China and what the Chinese culture was like. And that book, given the timing of it, became a New York Times bestseller. And he was interviewed on radio and television across the country because of his experiences in China. He'd also written a book called Boxelder Bug Variations. And that book was a discussion of prose and poetry that talked about life in southwestern Minnesota with the perspective of the Boxelder Bug Days, with the perspective of Boxelder bugs, a seemingly insignificant, unimportant insect. But as I continue this discussion, you'll see how that kind of plays into the whole theme of both Boxelder Bug Days and something that small towns like Minneota maybe share in common, maybe Minneota special in that regard. So the committee met and decided, you know what, we have a native son who has achieved notoriety. Let's jump on that bandwagon and name our celebration Boxelder Bug Days and use Bill's notoriety as part of the promotion of Minneota. Bill was shy about that. In fact, he said many times to me, this is not about me. This is about Minneota. And whenever we'd recognize him officially at our celebration, he always downplayed that and said, this is not about me. This is about the town. So I'm going to read you a little bit about the discussion of how this book, Boxelder Bug Days Variations, came to be. And this was written in the Minneapolis Star and Tribune at the time that Bill passed away. And I'm not sure who the writer was, but it's a comment on Bill himself and how this book came to be. And there's a short description of Bill, and those of you who didn't know Bill, just picture this person in your mind. 6.5 feet tall, bearded, red hair, red beard. He was an Icelander. And you guys know how the Icelanders got red hair. Anybody know how the Icelanders have red hair and the Norwegians just have blonde hair? The Norwegians kicked the Vikings out of Norway, and because they were a bunch of criminals, and they stopped in Ireland on the way to Iceland, to that rock in the North Atlantic, and kidnapped a bunch of Irish women and took them to Iceland with them, where they were exiled from Norway. So that's why when you see an Icelander with red hair, it comes from the Irish people that the Vikings from Norway kidnapped in Ireland. So Bill represented that. I mean, he was 6.5 feet tall, big voice, big beard, and it turned white and gray as he got older. But as a young man, he was a classic-looking literary person because his hair was always a mess, and he had a big beard and a big voice and an opinion about everything that was around him. He was also very musical. Bill could sit down and play the piano. He had a harpsichord, which is now in St. Paul's Church. He was a wonderful piano player. He could play from ear, and he was a great singer as well. So he combined both literature and music in his profession and in his life. So the story about the variations on the Boxelder bug. Holman taught for 27 years at Southwest State University in Marshall. Boxelder bug variations came about because of an assignment he gave his students who complained that they had nothing to write about out there on the prairie. And Bill was upset about that, and I remember him talking about this. He was upset about that, and he told them, "That's ridiculous. You can write about anything." Just at that time, a Boxelder bug crawled across his desk, and he said to his students, "You can write about this." And he gave them that assignment to write prose and poetry about Boxelder bugs, and that's how the book Variations on the Boxelder Bug came to be, and that was actually the start of Boxelder Bug Days in Minnesota. So he wrote several books, and one of the books he wrote was called The Music of Failure. And there's some interesting comments about the music of failure. I'm going to read a little bit from that book. This is called Icelanders, Boxelders, Soybeans, and Poets. And this reflects on some of the things that the girls said in their discussion about Minnesota, Minnesota, in his words here. The day before leaving Eastern Virginia, which is in first person here, this is Bill, I called the telephone company to have my phone disconnected and the bill forwarded to Minnesota, Minnesota. I talked to a good-humored woman and gave her the address. There was a pause. No street, no number, none. She asked me to repeat and spell the address. I did. Another pause. You putting me on, man? That's a real place? It is indeed a place in southwestern Minnesota. In fact, Bill was born on a farm 8 miles north of Minnesota, where his Icelandic grandfather had homesteaded. At 18, and I think a lot of young people, and a lot of us here probably had the same feeling when we were 18-year-old seniors in high school. At 18, what I wanted most to see in the world was the Minnesota city limits receding for the last time in the rearview mirror of an automobile driving east to New York, Boston, Washington, where men didn't spit snooze in brass spittoons. You got to remember the time Bill lived. Where men didn't spit snooze in brass spittoons. These kids don't even know what a spittoon is. They wore suits instead of bib overalls. Where women did not wear shapeless print dresses or discuss egg prices and their newest hot dish recipe, but were elegant and witty with painted eyebrows and long black gowns. By gradual steps, I made my way east, through college graduate school and into a teaching job next to the Atlantic Ocean, as far east as American consciousness moves. However, a strange thing happened. In addition to urban culture of martinis and pâté, conversation about Italian movies and liberal politics, I found empty-hearted rootlessness. Books used as blunt instruments, a sneering disbelief that hayseed farmers had souls, much less intellects. So I began, much to the skeptical amusement of Easterners I knew, to tell Minnesota stories about fierce winters, eccentric old Icelanders, done in by broken hearts, treeless wildflower-covered hills in Lincoln County, pioneer graveyards with peculiar names on them, Norwegian, Polish, Belgian, or Icelandic, pitching out a ripe hog house, soaking tired bones in a clawfoot bathtub, country school with brass bell, glass-doored oak bookcase, and half-mooned outhouse. And most of all, the rich variety of characters in small towns, whom one could know, tolerate, and forgive in ways not available to the guarded privacy of the big city. As Bill's mother would say, Minneota is just like that book by Grace Meticulous, Peyton Place. And I'm sure these young people don't know what Peyton Place is. But it's only better, because the stories were true, and you knew all the actors. So that's Bill's story from the music of failure. But as part of a discussion after Bill's death, and again, this plays into some of the things that you girls have said today, which I appreciate. From beloved Minnesota author Bill Holm, A Postcard from Home, investigating through the lens of the small town life what community means to us and the rigid definitions we give to success and failure. Growing up, Holm would define failure easily. It was to die in Minneota. But when he returned to his hometown, a very small dot on the ghost of an ocean of grass 20 years later, he was 40 years old when he moved back here. He began to uncover the past and discover more of himself and of our time. When Holm writes of Minneota, its lost histories and its people, they emerge with a wit that disarms us and a wisdom that gets to the heart of our culture by stepping out of the mainstream into what others regard as a backwater. Holm began to question the pace of our culture and how, in the rush to get ahead, we've lost our roots. And I think those words are fitting for today as well, especially the conversation about that. Now, Garrison Keillor, we all, maybe not all of us, but many of us know Garrison Keillor, Prairie Home Companion, Minnesota Public Radio, well-known lecturer, and had a radio show that was on Minnesota Public Radio. He was a very good friend of Bill's, and Bill was on his program many, many times. And Garrison Keillor spoke at Bill's funeral, which was held at St. Paul Church. This is what Garrison Keillor had to say about Bill Holm. Bill Holm was a great man, and unlike most great men, he really looked like one. 6'8", big frame, and a big white beard and a shock of white hair. A booming voice, so he loomed over you like a prophet and a preacher, which is what he was. He was an only child, adored by his mother, and she protected him from bullies, and he grew up free to follow his own bent and become the sage of Minneota, a colleague of Whitman, though born 100 years too late, a champion of Mozart and Bach, playing his harpsichord on summer nights, telling stories about Icelanders, and thundering about how the young have lost their way and abandoned learning and culture in favor of grease and noise. He thundered with the best of them, though he had a gentle heart. And those of us that knew Bill had a gentle heart. He was an English prof who really loved literature, and he could buttonhole you and tell you he'd just finished reading Dickens again and how wonderful it was. He got himself into print pretty well, and anyone picking up his Windows of Brimness, which is his last book, or The Music of Failure, or The Heart Can Be Filled Anywhere on Earth, will get the real Holm. And I like the comment and the book that Bill wrote, The Heart Can Be Filled Anywhere on Earth. And if you think about that, there's a lot to be said in that phrase, in that book title. And in it, and through Bill's life, he realized that returning back to Minneota was fulfillment for him. And he was a man that could have been anywhere. And that was his fulfillment, to be back in Minneota. And I think in these times that we have, especially this year, the phrase, the heart can be filled anywhere on earth, probably becomes more important because we've all been isolated. You kids have been mostly isolated, and those of us who have lived through this year have been mostly isolated. So for the outgoing royalty, I'd like to say, take Bill's words and his philosophy to heart. Remember your roots, and remember that the heart can be filled anywhere on earth. And like I said, in these days, the heart needs to be filled anywhere on earth. And for you new royalty, whoever you may be, and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to the community which of you is royalty. You're all important to us. But you'll be representing Minneota through the next year at events and celebrations and parades, and we want you to be proud of where you came from. And we want you to be able to represent the real story of Boxelder Bug Days and the tradition of a small bug in a small town with a big story.
Thank you, Scott. At this time, it's tradition that the outgoing royalty say a few words as they turn over their responsibilities to next year's candidates. So here you guys go.
Good afternoon, and thank you for attending the Boxelder Bug Days Coronation for the year of 2020-2021. I am your 2019-2020 Minneota Boxelder Bug Days Queen. I am sponsored by B&B Electric, and I am the daughter of Jenny and Eric Bicey. Today, I am escorted by Chase Differding. Chase is the son of Carol and Jerry Differding. This year was certainly not the year any of us royalty or candidates expected. As being crowned royalty for Boxelder Bug Days, we are responsible to get out in the community and represent Minneota. Due to COVID, we had no parades to attend this summer. Claire, Rayanne, and I are extremely bummed that we could not attend any parades, but we did reach out virtually. Back when we were crowned, we had so many hopes and plans to do in the upcoming year. One major plan we had was to completely redo the royalty float. Since we never got any parades to attend, we didn't do that. But I am counting on you girls to do that, because boy do I hear the float is hard to drive down highways. With that being said, you guys better enjoy every moment you have while it lasts. Make Minneota proud. Although we did not get to attend many events, we still shared numerous laughs throughout the year. Whether it was my giant crown falling off my head, freezing at the 2 parades we did attend, or cracking dumb jokes to relieve awkward silence moments, we had fun. This honor will stay with us forever. Girls, good luck, have fun, and enjoy every moment.
Hello everyone, my name is Claire Banks. I'm your 2019-2020 Boxelder Bug Day First Princess. I am the daughter of Steve and Trudy Banks. My sponsor was Brad's Market. My escort today was AJ Meary. AJ is the son of Jason and Tina Meary. I want to start out by thanking everybody who has made this year possible, especially these 2 lovely ladies by my side. This year wouldn't have been the same without you two. I know the 3 of us didn't get the typical Bug Days experience, but we made the best of what we had. We made 1 parade this year, and we had a blast. Even though it was kind of cold, we still had fun. We had so many ideas and plans for our summer, but unfortunately most of them were canceled. You may have seen us around town a few times. We got the opportunity to interview some of the small businesses. Sadly, I had to work that day, but I know Jody and Rayanne did an awesome job. Another fun thing we got to do was take in the Minneota's Farmer Market. We also got to do face painting last fall at the Fall Festival. It was so fun to see all the future royalty. I thank all of you for coming out today and supporting us. I wish all of you girls the best of luck.
Hi, I'm Rayanne Bruner, and I'm the 2019-2020 Second Princess. My escort is Dylan DeSmit, and he is the son of Jason and Michelle DeSmit, and my sponsor is Prairie Winds Wellness. Like these ladies said, we only got to attend 2 parades, which was not the ideal dream, but it was fun and we made the best of it.
Bug Days parade last year was raining and cold, but we laughed the whole time because we couldn't get our waves in sync. The other parade we attended was the Canby Light Up the Nights, and that was really fun, except it was snowing and we were freezing. We spent about 25 minutes decorating the truck with lights before the parade, and that was a struggle, but we got through it. Claire and Jody also made a beautiful giant crown to decorate the truck, and even though it wasn't easy, it looked very good. We had a lot of fun, even though we didn't get to attend every parade that we were supposed to, but it was an amazing time, and I wouldn't have wanted to spend it with anyone else. I would like to say good luck to these beautiful candidates, and I'm proud of every single one of you. You all did amazing.
Thank you, ladies. You guys can stay standing as I have Scott present you with your scholarships.
Every year, the Boxelder Bug Days Committee gives scholarships to the outgoing royalty, and this year, Second Princess Rayanne receives a $200 scholarship. Congratulations. Claire, a $225 scholarship, and Jody, a $250 scholarship. Congratulations, girls, and thank you, and thank you for representing us next year as well.
The judges have made their decisions. Before we share the contents of the envelopes, we would like to share with you a little bit about the process that these candidates go through to run for Boxelder Bug Days royalty. On August 5th, the candidates met the judges at the Minneota Community Center. At that time, they gave a short speech about why they would like to represent the community of Minneota. After speeches were given, each candidate met individually with the 3 judges and went through an interview process. Then they finished today with their fishbowl questions. So ladies, would you please take a step forward? It is time to announce our 2020 Boxelder Bug Day royalty. Are you gonna play? Okay. Our 2020 first princess is Ellen Maher. And next for our 2020 Boxelder Bug Day Queen, Brooke Morris. And for those at home, it is currently raining on us. And last but not least, we have our second princesses, Ava Larson and Morgan Wursel. Give the ladies a big round of applause. We just want to say a quick thank you to the City of Minneota for letting us use the Community Center for judging and a new leaf in Canby for the Queen's Flowers. And now we would like to recognize our outgoing royalty for the last time. We have Rayanne and Claire and Jody. And you guys can escort them out. And finally, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 Boxelder Bug Days royalty. Second princesses, Morgan Wursel and Ava Larson. First Princess, Ellen Maher. And your 2020 Boxelder Bug Day Queen, Brooke Morris. And this year's Queen Committee consists of Joy Bicey, Julie Poland, and Dawn Volamic. They'd like to thank you all for coming, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. There will be a coronation parade immediately following coronation, so at 4:30, and the parade route is on Boxelder Bug Day Facebook page, and it also can be found in the mascot. Thank you, guys. Yeah.